whoever's involved in this, with this leak, if there was a leak from the IRS, should be prosecuted and thrown in prison. And I don't mean for a year. I mean for a sentence that sends a message. This is an absolute disgrace. So the New York Times released one of their fake non-bombshell bombshells. Again, there's no bomb, there's no shell, there's no bombshell, there's no nothing. Here's this headline, of course, being pumped by the ridiculous fake news specialists, CNN, New York Times, and elsewhere. New York Times, David Leonhardt, I'm not sure about his name. Long concealed records show Trump's chronic losses and years of tax avoidance, September 27, 2020. First, before I even get started with the story, so you understand what the fake bombshell is here, right? President Trump doesn't pay a lot of taxes, to which Paula and I and everyone else listening are going, nice. So you're not saying it's tax evasion, right? Because that's a crime, which we would not say nice about. Don't commit crimes. Paula, would you agree with that? Good advice? Yes, thank you. Please don't commit crimes. No, seriously. But that's not what that headline says. It says that President Trump has avoided paying a lot of taxes. Tax avoidance. Now, tax evasion is a crime. Tax avoidance is a national pastime. Dan, you can't say that. I can't. It's true. If tax avoidance was not a national pastime, John Kerry would be in prison. Yeah, the one we talk about who lost the popular vote that the University of Michigan law professors weren't aware of. They must have missed that election. Remember John Kerry? Was he parking his boat in Rhode Island to avoid Massachusetts taxes? Remember that story? Was he doing anything illegal? No, I'm not alleging that. He was doing what every American does. What do? Pay as little taxes as possible. Right? Why do you pay your accountant? You ever hear that thing on the internet? Parler, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. You ever hear that thing out there on social media? Said no one ever. You know, when they want to make a joke about things no one would ever say, they say, said no one ever. Accountant Joey Bag of Donuts, can you do me a favor? Can you pay the maximum rate possible to the U.S. government? Can you do that for me? Said literally no one ever in the history of humankind. So the New York, Paula, can you run the headline again, please? So the New York Times headline is what? Trump guilty of tax evasion? No, that's not the headline. The headline should act like a promo for the Trump campaign that President Trump, that they had years of tax avoidance after business losses. Good for you. Smart. Now, the New York Times in this article, by the way, conveniently launched right as new collusion hoax, Spygate scandal stuff comes out. Just a coinky dink, I'm sure. Look, shiny red object. The New York Times is writing a story about how Trump, who is a billionaire, whose businesses have made and lost money when they made money. Let me walk to the New York Times shoes. I own a business. I am not an accountant, but I have one. He's very good. We do things by the numbers, but I'm pretty sure I know how businesses work. For the New York Times folks, and if you're a liberal out there who's confused about tax law, can I unconfuse you for a minute? When you have a business and the business loses money, which happens often in business, a lot. Some years are good, some are not so good. Some businesses are going to sadly lose a lot of money this year. Let me coach the New York Times, who apparently knows about as much about taxes and accounting as they do about collusion, foreign affairs, healthcare, law enforcement, and economics, meaning they know nothing because they're some of the dumbest people on the planet, are apparently unaware that when your business loses money, wait for it, you don't pay taxes on the income. You don't? Because you didn't have any. I know this is a shocker in the newsroom of the New York Times. Just to be clear, Trump may have had business loss. They may have been significant. I don't know the man's business acumen. You know why? I'm not in business with him. I don't care. I vote for President Trump and support him because he does conservative stuff. And shocker, I'm a conservative. I don't know what he does with his businesses. I don't know what's working, what's not working. I'm not in real estate. I'm in content production. I'm in social media. I'm in video companies. I'm in other stuff. I'm not in that. I don't know. I don't care. He just appointed a conservative justice that could make the court conservative and originalist for a long time. I'm good. I'm not really interested about how Trump International is filing its tax returns or what his golf courses are up to. I don't care. So the New York Times in the newsroom that's stunned to find out that businesses don't pay income taxes on corporate profits they don't have. This is a stunner. The New York Times newsroom is in shock right now. Decided to do a, 5,000 word expose on that Americans who don't earn corporate profits don't have to pay taxes on profits they don't have. Are you stunned, Paula? I don't have Joe here. I need my show crutch. It's a crutch for me. It's a crutch for me. I need to talk to someone because I'm just like a social guy. Are you stunned to figure this out? You're not stunned? She is stunned. She's doing that thing again where she nods her head and then says, yeah. She's stunned. Absolutely stunned to figure out that if you don't earn corporate profits, you don't have to pay taxes on them. Now, you would think in this big non-bombshell bombshell, there's no bomb, there's no shell, there's no nothing, that there would definitely be something because it's the New York Times. I mean, fake news is their thing. Remember the collusion pee-pee hoaxers? You think there would definitely, I want to hat tip Raheem Kassan at the National Pulse by this. And there's a great story in the show notes about this too from the National Pulse, also on Bongino Report. This is a screenshot from him in the piece. You think they would have definitely found more pee-pee hoax stuff and collusion hoax stuff, right? I mean, it's a bombshell. Bombshell, huge. This will impact exactly 0 votes in the election, by the way. So let's see the New York Times story. Again, hat tip Raheem Kassan for these highlights here. So in the middle of the story, we find out that the tax filings that the New York Times got, and I'll get to that in a second too, will leave many questions unanswered and many questioners unfulfilled. That sounds like some bombshell there. Does that sound like a bombshell to you, Paula? Huge bombshell? Huge. She's agreed. She's sarcastically huge. Here, check this one out. Nor do they reveal any previously unreported connections to Russia. I'm just, again, trying to figure out. So there's no allegations. I had a highlight. This is for later in case I have to cover this tomorrow. I like to underline stuff I don't like to forget as talking points during the show so you don't forget. So we come away with a bombshell with no bomb, no shell that alleges no criminality, no collusion, and that there were years Trump's corporations lost money, therefore had no profits, so didn't pay corporate profit taxes on profits that didn't exist. Am I missing something there? The excavation for the bomb shelter has stopped, by the way. Paul's like, you want me to cut that out? Hell no, I don't want you to cut that out. I'm really just curious what the point of this story was outside to distract you from the collusion hoax stuff that came out on Friday. One more point on this that's important. Really important. Folks, our government's now been fully weaponized. That's a conspiracy theory. Is it really? We've had the FBI and the intelligence agencies weaponized against President Trump. They basically invented a fake scandal to spy on an American citizen who happened to be running for president. I would only call that the biggest scandal of our time. But your tax returns aren't safe anymore either. The IRS will probably come after me, I'm guessing. Watch when I get audited. We'll go back to this. What's today's date, folks? September 28th. I will probably get audited too. Fine. I honestly don't care because I have nothing to worry about. But the IRS, along with the CIA, intelligence agencies, and the upper ranks of the FBI have now been fully and completely weaponized. The president's tax returns, he's an American citizen. He's entitled to some financial privacy. And if he doesn't want that and he wants to disclose his tax returns, he's free to do so. And if he doesn't want to, he's free not to. If you are a conservative right now, I would not trust anyone. I am very sorry to tell you that. I don't base that on conjecture or speculation. I base that on the real world. Donald Trump's life, it'll be his medical records next that'll become public. Some already have. You could be next. You live in a society right now that, thanks to the liberal cancer infecting us, has broken down all previous barriers. Your privacy isn't safe. Nothing is safe. Oh, Dan, that sounds really harsh. Does it? The President of the United States, someone leaked his tax returns to write a BS story that alleges no criminality and confirms for the millionth time no collusion, and yet it's treated as a bombshell, and no one seems even remotely worried about that. Of course, this won't happen to liberals because conservatives who work at the IRS and elsewhere don't break the law because they believe in big R God-given rights. Liberals don't. The radical left is a postulating infectatum on America's caboose right now that has just destroyed all prior norms, and you're not safe anywhere. They'll burn your businesses down. They'll leak your tax records. I'm telling you, your health records are next. They don't even care. They'll go to prison in the name of some higher calling. There's no higher calling. Their only calling is chaos. Whatever happened here at the IRS is a disgrace. Whoever's involved in this, with this leak, if there was a leak from the IRS, should be prosecuted and thrown in prison. And I don't mean for a year. I mean for a sentence that sends a message. This is an absolute disgrace.
You just heard Dan Bongino.